My name is Colin SkipperWing Bird, and welcome to a special subset of SkipperWing Draws a Thing, process videos for the Crimson Fly animated comic strip.
Today's strip, issue 3, strip number 30. And boy, this one actually feels like more of a doozy than it actually was, in hindsight. Most of the doozying came from behind the scenes, where I was recording, then working, then getting up to do a thing, then recording, then working, etc., 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 which resulted in a lot of a lot of recorded video that was a pain in the butt to compile into a single video. And I kind of wanted to spend more time on that, but in hindsight, not really a big deal. I mean, we got the finished video, right? So I am actually going to move on, and I'm actually going to skip ahead a little bit to the animated portion. I want to talk about character interaction in animation. Basically, the sort of call and response that happens when two characters interact with each other. And I like to think of it as a sort of dance. The idea being that at one point, one character takes the lead, at the other, and then the other character takes the lead. So in this first panel where the fly drops in, he has the lead. He drops in, and then the other characters have to react to that. And that's at which point they take the lead. And it's easy when they're not directly interacting with each other, but as you'll see in a minute, when the fly has to directly interact with the bigger thief, when he punches him, then it gets even more dynamic. You can see that here, where the thief, he attacks, and so I animate that first because that's the direct driving action. When the fly reacts, then he takes the lead again by dodging out of the way. So then I can focus on that. Once his dodge is complete and he's landed on the thief's back, then he still remains in control. When he kicks him away, he remains in control up until he's off screen, at which point the thief takes control, wherein his reaction is to go flying off screen. And thinking of it that way, in that sort of dance of directing, reacting, directing, helps me animate these characters. Because otherwise, then it's really hard to plan out. And if you do it pose to pose and pose, where each character is in a pose, it gets very stiff or planned. It doesn't feel spontaneous. But now that we're on cleanup, I actually want to talk about something else. The idea of traditional versus digital. Flash animation, puppet animation, digital animation, whatever you want to call it. The idea that there's two extremes to that, and I don't agree. I personally subscribe to the idea that it's situational. As an artist who has issues with consistency, puppet animation is a godsend because it allows me to keep my characters consistent and doesn't make them look all squiggly. That being said, there are certain sequences, like this action sequence that I'm currently cleaning up, where the character is moving too dynamically. There's too many poses. If I was to try and puppet it out, I'd be making a puppet for each and every single pose, at which point I might as well just be animating traditionally. So, it's situational. When the characters aren't moving very much, such as in that second panel where he's just shaking his hands, then I go with puppets. When it's a completely dynamic action sequence, then I go traditional. And even here you can see I cheat a little bit, where if I don't see the need to completely redraw a pose, then I will cut and paste into a separate panel, and then I will cut out the parts that don't need animating, and then redraw the parts that do. And I'd like to say that this saves me a lot of time, but really it doesn't. It just makes my life more easier. And that's really what getting better is all about. Finding a better and better solution and maximizing your workflow. And that's really what the Crimson Fly is about on a meta level. It's not just me telling a story, it's me getting better at telling stories. So that way, when you see them, you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, that's so boss. What's he gonna come up with next?"
And that's it for today's video. If you want to see this strip in its true format, please click the links in the annotations and cards. If you're new, please like and subscribe for more content. This is Colin SkipperWing Bird signing out. I'll catch you peeps later.